Tonight in our Making a Difference series, we take a moment to shine a spotlight on a public defender who's using her own experience to not only illustrate the flaws in our criminal legal system, but fix them. Her name is Keeda Haynes. In 2002, Keeda helped her then boyfriend pick up some packages believing they contained a cell phone and pager, but that wasn't the case. It was marijuana, and the police were watching, so she was arrested and charged. Despite not knowing about the drugs, Keeda was convicted and spent 4 years in a federal prison. During her time on the inside, she studied for the LSAT, the law school entrance exam. After getting out of prison, she graduated from law school. Keeda recounts her firsthand experience with our unjust legal system in her new book, Bending the Arc: My Journey from Prison to Politics. Joining me now is author, public defender, and former Tennessee congressional candidate, Keeda Haynes. Keeda, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So before prison, you earned a degree in criminal justice and psychology, hoping to become a criminal defense lawyer. First, let me ask you, what made you decide to become a lawyer? I hate getting that question, by the way, so I'm sorry in advance, but I'm curious.
But, I didn't go to college to actually become a lawyer. I went to college to actually to be a profiler. I wanted to work with the FBI, and it was just by happenstance that I took a law class and did very well in it. And my professor encouraged me to go to law school. And because briefing cases was just something that was second nature to me, it was just like, okay, well, I'll decide that I want to do this. And so that's where it started with me wanting to become a lawyer.
So was it difficult becoming one, given the fact that you had spent time in prison?
So I did have, several different challenges to be able to become a lawyer. So when I came home, in December 1st, 2006, I started law school in 2008, and I went to law school at night while I worked during the day. But in order for me to get into law school, I had to go and see a therapist for her to determine that I, didn't have any issues as far as ethics was concerned in order to be even admitted into law school. And then once I graduated law school, I had to go before the board to determine that I had the character and fitness in order to be a practicing lawyer here in the state of Tennessee. But yeah, so there were definitely barriers to that, as many people face barriers to reentry after leaving jail and prison.
And you got over those barriers and became a public defender. Now, instead of becoming a defense attorney in the private section, you chose to be a public defender. Why?
So when I was in prison, talking with many of the women and helping them with their cases when I was there, it was there with hearing the stories of the women that I decided that I wanted to become a public defender. I was blessed to be able to have a private lawyer, and so I saw the things that he was able to do for me in my case, and then hearing the women say what their lawyers did not do for them, I wanted to be able to provide that same level of representation that I had gotten from my private lawyer for people who could afford to pay $5 or $50,000 for it. And, just really wanted to make sure that no one ever had to experience any of the injustices that I had experienced in the criminal legal system.
Public defenders really do get a bad rap. I wasn't a public defender. I started my career as a prosecutor. But I had to deal with the public defenders on a regular basis, obviously, as you know, and saw that they were incredibly overworked. And that was something you actually mentioned in a Time magazine interview, how you accurately describe public defenders as being underpaid and overworked. And I don't know if they do that there where you are, but as a private attorney, once I left the prosecutor's office and became a private attorney, the court would appoint us cases. Once the public defender's office had reached a cap of cases, they then spilled over to private lawyers, and I would hear my clients always assume that public defenders didn't care about them, that we just wanted to plead them out, and I wanted to show them that it didn't matter whether I was appointed or whether they hired me, because you could hire a really crappy attorney and really get a public defender that really matters. And that was, I guess, what your point of being one is. Give me the most challenging aspect, though, of being a public defender, because it is challenging.
Right. Yes, it's very challenging, and one of the things that I wanted to do is really change that narrative that you just described there, right? Because public defenders do have a bad reputation of being lazy and not caring and all of those types of things. And so just with seeing how my attorney was a great attorney and wanted to really just take what I had seen him do for me and even what I had seen him do for others working for him once I had come home from prison, and wanted to, to take that to the public defender's office and to really set the standard and change the narrative as who we were as public defenders. But for me, one of the challenging things was just dealing with all of the oppression and racism that comes along with working in the criminal legal system. And we like to say that we were client centered, right? And so being client centered really required us to take on a lot of the things that our clients were experiencing, not just in the courtroom, but even in their communities. And so there was a lot of secondary trauma that we also dealt with as public defenders as well too. And so that was really challenging because you wanted to be client centered, but also too, you in doing so, there was that trauma that, just because you were so close to the situation.
Client-centered, very important. Now, having been wronged by the legal system yourself, has being a part of that system opened up your eyes to the many other ways in which it wrongs people? And how are you trying to right those wrongs?
Yes. So going into this, I knew that there were all types of injustices within the criminal legal system, but throughout the years working as a public defender, I realized that it wasn't just the criminal legal system that we're talking about. And I started talking about this particularly when I ran for Congress, and I talk about it in the book, the intersectionality of all of these issues. And so we cannot say that we really want to deal with mass incarceration if we're not going to deal with the school to prison pipeline, if we're not going to make sure that that our school system is fully funded, if we're not going to make sure that people have affordable housing, if we're not going to make sure that people have adequate health care, if people have jobs, those types of things. And so I think, I started to realize all of those things and realized that there was no one that was really talking about those in our community. And so that is what led me to want to run for Congress, because I realized that by the time my clients had gotten to me, there were so many other things that was going on in their lives that nobody was addressing.
It's hard getting clients to trust you, as a legal representation, that you have their best interests in mind. Is a way of connecting with your clients is by telling them that you also have experienced the injustice that this legal system can really dole out. Is that a way to connect with your clients? Do you let your clients even know that you also had served time?
So some of them I would, and some of them already knew, just because my story had been featured in one of our local papers, and so they knew other people in the community that I knew, and so some of them already knew, and some of them appreciated the fact that I had been in prison and had overcome that and was now a public defender and didn't just walk away. And say, okay, well, I'm out, I'm going to go and live my life. But I chose to actually come back into this very system that had done me harm to keep it from doing the very same harm to others.
Now, you recently spoke on a panel about justice reform, but you realized that the person sitting in the front row was your sentencing judge. I mean, that had to be a crazy, surreal moment. I mean, a full circle moment. How did that make you feel?
So I saw her come in, and it was the first time that I had seen her since she resentenced me. And, some people you will never forget. And I told the other judges that I was on the panel with, I was just like, that's my sentencing judge. And, they couldn't believe it. But I had a feeling that she would be there just because of the type of conference that it was. And, for a moment, it was just like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to say? But then it was just like, no, like, we are on equal ground now. The last time I was in front of her, she had all the power, and I was begging for her to let me out. But now we're on equal ground. And so I can stand in my truth and I can speak my truth and not have to worry about any repercussions that's going to come from her, because we're the same now. And so it was really empowering to be able to essentially look at her in the eye and tell her all of the horrible things that she did to me when I was in front of her.
Did you get an opportunity to maybe speak during the conference one-on-one? Did she approach you? Did you approach her?
No, I did not speak with her, and she did not approach me. What was interesting was that I never like told the other women on the panel who the judge was. I just said that she was there. And at the end, she chose
Hmm.
to stand up and to talk about what she was doing in her courtroom around, racial bias and those things. But, what she was talking about was what she does when she has a jury trial. But we know in the federal system, you don't have a lot of jury trials to begin with. And that's what you're doing for the jurors. Like, you have said nothing about what you have done to change your attitude and your behavior with the biases that you have displayed, not just against me, but other Black people that have been in front of you in your courtroom. And so to me, that was very telling.
What a class act you are, because I would have actually called her out by name and asked her to stand up in front of everybody and say, that is the woman that sentenced me to prison. But hey, that's a different conversation for another day. I could talk about this all night with you. Thank you so much, very much, Keeda, lawyer and author of Bending the Arc, My Journey from Prison to Politics. Keeda Haynes, thank you again for sharing your inspiring story with us and for being a change maker in this world. Thank you.